On the operating table, the man's skin began to rot away. His body convulsed violently, and his flesh slowly vanished. Organs and blood vessels became exposed. Before long, nothing was left but a writhing skeleton. Then even the skeleton disappeared completely. The researchers around him were ecstatic because the invisibility experiment was a success. Although the man's body was invisible, there was still a way to track him. Thermal imaging goggles could detect his location. To be safe, Kevin was locked in a special isolation chamber. The chamber was covered with infrared sensors. In the control room, someone monitored him at all times. But one night while Linda had dozed off, invisible Kevin snuck into the control room like a perverted ghost. He gently stroked Linda's hair, then slowly unbuttoned her shirt. His hand moved to her chest, and his actions grew more aggressive. Linda woke up in shock. Seeing her disheveled clothes, she immediately understood what happened. She called out Kevin's name but got no response. So she checked the surveillance feed and saw he wasn't in bed. But as she turned around, Kevin had silently slipped back into his bed. Lisa started carrying thermal goggles wherever she went, because she always felt like someone was watching her. 7 days passed quickly. The restoration experiment was ready. Once the drug was injected, Kevin's heart and blood vessels began to appear. Then the outline of his body slowly returned. But suddenly Kevin began thrashing violently. Like a wild beast, he broke free. He punched a researcher across the room. Just when everyone thought the restoration was working, Kevin collapsed to the ground. Though he was saved in time, his body turned invisible again. This failure crushed the entire team. To help Kevin live a normal life, they poured liquid rubber on his face, smoothed it out and dried it with a fan. Then they cut a hole for his mouth and 2 for the eyes, creating a creepy rubber face mask. With a pair of sunglasses, he looked somewhat human again. Later, Kevin returned home. Through his window, he spotted his sexy neighbor. His long-repressed desires exploded with his new powers. He rang her doorbell while she was showering. She cautiously checked the peephole but saw no one. Kevin rang it 3 more times. Now she was furious. The moment she opened the door, Kevin slipped inside. She was knocked down by an invisible force. Her screams were the only sound left after the assault. At that moment, Kevin noticed Linda walking toward his house. The lab had launched a search after discovering he went missing. Linda found only a discarded rubber suit. Then a terrifying scene unfolded again. Linda was sleeping when she felt her blanket being pulled back. Her body was suddenly exposed. Kevin unclasped her bra, then removed her underwear. Linda jolted awake, but no one was there. Realizing the danger, she rushed back to the lab. The surveillance footage revealed that Kevin had replaced the cameras. Linda decided to report everything. She and a colleague visited the director's house and told him everything that had happened. After Linda left, the director picked up the phone to call the military, but there was no signal. He stepped outside to investigate and was suddenly shoved into the pool by an unseen force.